Everybody, I'm Semi, the pop song professor, and welcome to my channel where we make song lyrics explained. And today we're talking about No Chances by 21 Pilots from Scaled and Icy. And the big question here is this song sung from the perspective of the Dima bishops, or is this something else? And guys, this song is confusing. I've read so many theories about what's going on here, and I don't like any of them. So I'm coming up with my own, and if you hate it, you hate it. And we're just gonna move forward, all right? This is a tough song, and it's one of those songs like Johnny Boy, or I don't know, some other 21 Pilots song where we aren't actually gonna figure out what it means probably until months or years later. So in the meantime, we're gonna do our best to theorize, and here's my best theory. So in this song, he starts off, we come for you, no chances, we come for you, no chances. And a lot of those refrains are sung from this sort of like this group of angry, grumpy people, and it's in the background, kind of like, we come for you, no chance. It's terrible singing, but it is what it is. And Tyler said as he was talking about this, his description of this at first makes it sound like he's not giving anything away, but I think he's giving away more than we all thought at first. He said, I recruited my brothers and a few of his friends to come over and record. Blah, 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 blah. It was a room full of people. I was thinking of athletics and college sports specifically, where there's overwhelmingly this hometown crowd and how intimidating that can be and powerful that is in the face of opposition. So, here is what I'm thinking. It's the energy of a gymnasium or stadium, he says. I think that this song is about two opposing forces, kind of like looking at each other over the battlefield and trying to intimidate each other. And here's how I think this plays out. In the first verse, Tyler does this rap, in my house, shoes, in a foot race. Okay, so just a chill normal day, he'll still race you. In this house we got feng shui. If things are put together, I don't get this line. Get the door to blow you away, so I'm gonna open up the door and come for you. Flamethrower, levitate, you know, I've been spitting fire since the 2nd grade or whatever. You a switchblade, I'm a flamethrower, you're a tiny knife. Feet planted on grip tape with my shoulders squared and my back straight, like he's ready for a fight, like in a wrestling match. Got a good base, so he's like planted, I guess, and he's got like people around him maybe, and a loose tongue, so he's gonna say what he wants to say. Notorious in the octagon, he's using a little bit of like MMA imagery there, like he's gonna fight you. So this seems to be Tyler describing himself ready for a fight. And then you get into the chorus. Well, actually, let's just go back to the refrain. We come for you, no chances. And I think that's the opposition. I think Tyler's saying, you know, the dark thoughts, I'm ready for you. I got a good base and a loose tongue. And they're like, we come for you, no chances. And I think that's Tyler versus the dark thoughts / the bishop / the demons, whatever, basically standing off against each other and doing their own opposing chants. Their chant is boring and dark and heavy, and his is like creative and spicy and cool, and creativity is a huge part of that, right? So I think that they kind of represent themselves well. Then you get into verse 2 is where this theory doesn't break down necessarily, but just gets confusing. So let's talk about the chorus. In the chorus, we got people on the way. We want you home in one piece now. We get bodies every day. We want you home in one piece now. And that seems to me like, because go back to this imagery of like college sports. You send your sports team off to the home team and they're gonna go fight them without the support of all their classmates and their college there, right? Like there's a home stadium advantage for sure. But if you're the college team, the college sending off your students to go and, you know, play your student athletes to go and play the game, you're probably thinking like, oh man, I hope they come back having won, right? Like, we got people on the way, you know, we're gonna send some people to support you maybe. We want you home in one piece now. We get bodies every day, like we do lose from time to time. We want you home in one piece now. And it seems as if though they're like sending that message of support. So it feels like it's a third party involved in this. There's Tyler being sent off to fight the bishops and he's ready and they're coming for you and there's no chance for you. So they're doing their big stadium chant. And then there's all the people back home who are kind of like rooting you on. And I think that's like the Banditos. I think that's the Banditos perspective. And I'm not a huge fan of explaining songs as being sung from multiple perspectives, but I think that's what's happening, particularly because the bishop voices are sung in such a different way and by different voices actually. and because the way Tyler presents the rap and the way Tyler presents the chorus have significantly different musical style. So, and they're basically sung from the same side, it's just like different parts of the same side. So I think it kind of works. Then you get into verse 2 and you're like, does any of this even matter anymore? Verse 2, how'd you get the location? Put together pieces? They say they sell the information in those terms of agreement. We spent some weekends on the grind, surveillance is outside. You see when you arrive, ride or die, my son. Spent some weekends on the grind, surveillance is outside. We see when you arrive, ride or die, my son. And my best theory here, I kind of think of this as like the Bandito's headquarters, basically welcoming another fighter in, sort of. You know, how'd you get here? You put together the pieces just like we had to do with trench codes, or just like the way that you discover 21 Pilots music in general. They say they sell the information, those terms of agreement. Ugh, I'm a little bit fuzzy on that, not gonna lie to you. Would love to know what you guys think about that. We spent some weekends on the grind, we're working on this, surveillance is outside, we're watching, we're trying to keep our place safe, our Bandito camp. We see when you arrive, ride or die. And that's the part that really sells me on this being a Bandito camp, because it's like, it is ride or die, like we gotta succeed, or, you know, the ultimate enemy here, the ultimate defeat by the enemy is like depression influenced suicide, like in 21 Pilots metaphorical lore, I guess. So it's ride or die, but it could be meant a little bit lighter for sure. Spent some weekends on the grind, and he goes on and carries on. So at the end of the day, I think that this is sung from two perspectives, but one of those perspectives is split into two more perspectives, so a total of 3 perspectives, and they're all getting ready for a big fight. And we actually have the bishops, I think that's the bishops team singing, which fits in the lore, but I also think, like Tyler and Josh have said, like we don't want people to have to be sucked into the lore to be able to enjoy the songs. And so I think that the explanation that I'm giving kind of fits both. Like you can look at the explanation I'm giving and say like, oh yeah, I see, I could pull some lore out of there. Or you could just be a casual fan or just a normal person and be like, okay, yeah, so this song is about 2 opposing sides and getting ready for a big fight for a really big thing that matters, and you've got friends on your side who want to help you succeed and want to see you come back in one piece from your big fight with this, you know, fateful fate that you've got to face. I really think that's what's going on, guys. That's my best theory, but this is very well, of all the explanations I'm doing, except for Bounce Man, I don't know how I'm going to explain that, people. If you have theories for Bounce Man, please share them, because I am like, at this point, I haven't done my serious deep dive analysis on it yet, but at this point, I and I think everybody else, based on all the theories I've seen, are completely lost. So I'm curious to see how that goes, so please help. But that's No Chances. That's what I think it's about. Yeah. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, don't forget to check out the Obsessed podcast. Just put out an episode about the Pokemon trading card game, and it's super exciting. It's like a documentary narrative. Follow me from here to Vegas to, you know, fight the world champion, to see a guy who has $10 million worth of Pokemon cards, all this crazy stuff. Like, it's a lot of fun. Hope that you enjoy that. But I also really hope that you give some suggestions and help me have some walls to bounce off of for Bounce Man, because that's a crazy song. Thanks, guys. Talk to you next time.